like she has family. And we have early to do newscasts tomorrow, and that's like 3 o'clock wake up. And I was like, nope, not doing that. I'm like, cool.
I don't know.
I get you. Oh, I know.
Maybe not quite like this.
Yeah, but still, like, I mean, yeah. I think it's like slight risk. We're not.
Yeah, we're in the hands of this Monday night and Tuesday is light, so yeah, it's more like at night at 3 o'clock maybe.
Great, wonderful.
Yeah, so not a problem.
So much fun. So much fun. Hopefully it stays in like less populated areas and it's just rain up here, and you know, that rain won't be a disaster, but
Oh. Where is it? Gentry Clock was over here the other day.
I really
Try to get everybody's way.
these dogs don't like it.
He wanted that press conference so bad. The governor and everything. I got some.
Or that if they do it, somebody gets trapped.
I thought they banned him from his
I know.
game the other day.
Hopefully he can put his phone on Do
I'm
Not
talking about Ellie, he
Disturb.
had his phone going off at the press conference.
Hopefully he
Yeah.
can during that disturb function.
Right, he didn't even know about it. Like, what the fuck is that? Right. He don't think he did.
He was here yesterday.
I think he just used to the those cameras, so you know.
Well, he never used it.
Right, he does.
We used to work for anybody now, so it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, here's a tweet. Don't see the police chief. Oh, there's the police chief.
Yeah.
You come look like the mafia.
Started Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, I did. Don't forget to stick to the script.
Police chief, fire chief.
Ameren, Red Cross.
Is everyone ready? Rachel, are you good? Okay. Everybody's good? Good? Okay. There's a B. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mitch McCoy. I'm the Director of Public Affairs and Information for the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. We're going to provide another update on our city's response to the tornado recovery and the response from various departments along with resources that are here on the ground. We're going to get an update from Mayor Kara Spencer, the police chief, the fire chief. We are going to get an update from Ameren. Still encouraging news from them this afternoon. We will get an update from the American Red Cross, and the SEMA will also provide an update from emergency management. Hopefully the mics are good, but understand we're still in the middle of a recovery effort, so we don't want to tell them to go anywhere. If you guys can still hear us. Okay.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you. I want to just start out again thanking everyone who's been involved. You can see we got all hands on deck. Our refuse department just happened to pull up. We have had an amazing, incredible response from first responders, volunteers, extraordinary help from civic leaders, civic organizations, and regular citizens. Right now, we're focused on the weather advisory that we're looking at for tonight. Large hail and rain is expected. Damaging winds are expected tonight. There's a potential for rain over the coming days. So we're really shifting our focus from life to storm prep. The preparation for property damage, property preservation, cleanup, and child care, schools, daycare centers are really our priority moving into the next 24, 48 hours. I know a lot of members of the public have been asking how they can help. Thank you. We know you are anxious to help. Many folks have already been out helping. We are asking folks to focus their efforts over the next 24 hours on storm prep. That does look like bringing tarps, 2x4s, wood, screws, boards, gloves, etc. We have 3 main drop sites that we're really organizing around that preparation, and that is the O'Fallon YMCA, the Urban League Metro, which is on Kings Highway, the 1400 block up there, and then 4144 MLK for the Ville. Those are the 3 drop spots that we're asking for members of the public. We've also been organizing large contributions to come to those 3 sites to help folks get prepared for the weather we're expecting over the next 24 hours. If you want to help, now that we have done a lot of cleanup, we really wanted to make sure that our first responders had the opportunity to go in there and do life preservation as a first step. The fire chief will talk about where we are right now in that. We are in a good spot. So if you're a member of the public and you want to help, please, we encourage you to just be very, very careful. This is an unstable environment. We know that. Please stay away from any down wires. Please, we are working to get that stabilized, but it's important that you take your personal safety very seriously. This morning, I want to let you know that we convened a group of the region's largest, biggest contractors to discuss storm prep in the next 24 hours, and of course, debris removal and a long-term plan for neighborhood restoration. This group includes a whole host of folks, Keeley Construction, Placo, Brink, McCarthy, Centene, Perrick, a whole host of folks convened. The Greater St. Louis, the RBC, the Urban League, of course. We have a ton of partners, all hands on deck. They're still meeting as we just left. They're convening on how to best move through the next few days, weeks, months. This is going to be a long recovery because the destruction is truly phenomenal. You can see all of our city departments are still working around the clock. As you all know, we declared a state of emergency Friday night. That's why you see refuse. That's why you see all of our city departments out working 12-hour days. We did focus on making sure that our building division is still inspecting buildings, making sure that we are identifying those that are least safe. We did immediately focus on getting the roads cleared. We do believe we've got all roads cleared. If you have a road or know of a road that has become unpassable or wasn't yet cleared, let us know. We are prioritizing making sure we can get folks through our neighborhoods. The focus is now shifting to city trees on private property, houses, and buildings. So please get those reported into us. We are working on getting those done. Traffic light poles are being picked up. We're also restoring signals. Thank you to Ameren, who's been a great partner on this, but we are working with our street and lighting department to make sure that we are getting those signals up and running where we can and where electricity is present. Flyers went out today to the community for those without power, where they can get access and help ahead. So if you're looking to help get those distributed, we are working with community partners to get that information on the ground. Lastly, I know we're going to get some questions on FEMA. We are building a path to that, to federal declaration. It is not a short process. We have begun our part. We are working with state and federal partners on that, and we will continue to press that. That's a very important piece here, and we are working relentlessly to get that declaration. We are also working with our assessor's office who's been working throughout the weekend to help us assess the damage, the financial damage that's important on the federal and the local declaration side. We estimate right now over $1 billion of damage, property damage, that does not even begin to account for the personal human toll that this has taken in our community. We're encouraging folks to stay up to date with our information at stlouis-mo.gov/tornado. We have a separate site set up on the city website to keep you informed of what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to turn it over now to our fire chief to talk about how the security of the buildings and the work there. Chief Jengerson, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. The St. Louis Fire Department and the regional response teams, we've completed our sweeps. We finished up this afternoon. We did one more sweep a little bit further north. We wanted to make sure that we checked every building. As I said yesterday, also, we had every company in the St. Louis Fire Department on the streets. We checked every street in this city and provided feedback so we have a good understanding and a good set of data for how much damage was caused by this storm. Even though we are done with our sweeps, this area is still very, very dangerous. We have wires hanging. We have buildings that are barely standing up. So any type of movement, somebody hits a wire by accident, these buildings will come down. So I will tell everybody to stay out of the area. Let the city do our job, and we will continue and move this as fast as we can. I've got to give a shout out to the regional teams that assisted in this disaster. We spent the last approximately almost 50 hours on the ground, and we are almost sure that we've got everything. We had a couple hits today. We put extra teams on the site. We did not find anybody additional injured from the storm. But I want to reiterate, this is a very, very dangerous site. So I'm asking the public to stay away. I don't need additional pictures taken. If you go online and look, but stay out of this area. So the St. Louis Fire Department, the regional partners, did just an amazing job, and I can't thank them enough for assisting the St. Louis Fire Department and the city of St. Louis. I'm going to introduce the Chief of Police, Chief Tracy.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief. So just giving an update, just continuing from yesterday. We're continuing with our 12-hour shifts, making sure that we have this area covered and the rest of the city covered. We don't let the rest of the city sacrifice because of the resources we're putting in here. So that's our promise to you. And as things are broken down, as you're going to see things breaking down, especially fire and rescue and the tremendous job that they've done, we're going to be continued in this area to make sure that we can keep the peace, make sure that we're enforcing the curfew 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. As you heard the fire chief and the mayor say, it is very dangerous out there. And we got to make sure that we continue to do our emergency work, and everybody else that's in that, other people will get in our way, but everybody's been abiding by that, and there's been no violations. We appreciate the community's help in that, because we're all coming together to make sure we can get through this quickly as possible to get back to normalcy, which is going to take a long, long time. So with that, curfew still in place, no violations. We'll be out here on our 12-hour shifts. We're going to continue to keep a command post up here, whether we keep it here or we move it a little further north. That's to be determined. But we'll continue to be out here with the community as we continue to go through this, working with our partners. So thank you very much for everybody's cooperation. And then I'm going to turn it over to Amron. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. First, I want to say appreciation to all the partnership, collaboration with St. Louis City, St. Louis County, our first responders, our state and federal officials. Currently, we have over 1,900 workers on property that are working to restore our service area for this devastating storm that took place on Friday. We have a count of over 300 poles, and I'm sure that count is going to go up. I know there are some concerns about schools, and we have a list right now. We're assessing that list. We'll be in contact with the mayor's office to see what our ESRT is going to be, when we can get those folks restored so that people can make plans on what they can do next. But I want to make it clear that this is a very devastating site. This will be a multiple-day storm. We will be working until the week, restoring customers. Some of the harder-hit areas It's difficult to get to them. There's a lot of access issues. As they alluded to, there's a lot of devastation. There's things that could make it unsafe, not only for the general public, but also our crews. So we ask for your grace, and we're going to be here throughout the week, and we're going to get folks back on as fast as possible. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lucretia Cox with the American Red Cross, and we are here to provide the immediate needs of all the residents who have been impacted by the storm. We currently still have 3 locations that are open. I will say that our Race United Methodist Cross location is completely full, so right now we are working on getting a new location as we speak. We are offering 3 meals per day to all of the people that are in those shelter locations. We know that weather might be coming, so we want to make sure, and it's our goal, that everyone is housed that has the opportunities, and we'll work really hard to make sure all of the residents are in those spaces. We also have available, like we said, we have surveying that's going out in the community like we typically do when disasters hit. And so we'll be able to assess damage and property. And then at that point, anyone that is eligible for financial assistance will be working to ensure that those families have financial assistance through the American Red Cross. If you need immediate assistance for American Red Cross, please feel free to reach out to 1-800-RED-CROSS. Someone will be able to assist you and then potentially connect you with other resources in the community. Thank you so much.
I'm Sarah Russell, Commissioner of Emergency Management for the city. Thank you all again for coming. I wanted to reiterate again about the incoming weather, and I will say this. If you have not been impacted by this storm, we ask you to prepare. If you have been impacted by this storm, you have some additional things that you need to think about with preparedness. We want everybody to again, be able to receive notifications. If you're in the city of St. Louis and have not registered for Notify STL, that is critically important. We will share that information out again. It's always on our websites. That is one of the most thorough ways that we have to reach people in the city. Also, the weather radios. We're working with media, and we're working with all of the options that we can to get information to people, not just for alerts and warnings, but also as we get further into the recovery, letting people know where they can get resources. We do understand that there are a lot of people that can't hear this right now. They don't have access to phones or television or internet where they are, and we're working on the ground to get that information out to them as well. What we want people to think about right now while the sun is out is if you're out doing cleanup around your home and your home may not be safe to shelter in or stay in later, making sure that you find the resources of a place that you can get to and have a plan to get there, whether it's your local church or other facility in the community, a loved one's house, making sure that you have somewhere to quickly take shelter. Watch for the watches when we get them, if we get them, for things like severe thunderstorms, or, you know, if we get there, potentially tornado again. But those high weather events, we're going to be sending out those tools on every pathway that we have, not just us, but our media partners as well, to make sure that that information is put out. And that goes for, you know, today, the next day, next week. That's something that we're always doing, but it's going to be more critical now that we have people in more vulnerable structures and in the process of recovering. We want to support everyone as much as we possibly can. And with that recovery really getting into full swing now, I do want to thank not only the partners we have here, but at the Emergency Operations Center, there is many more partnered organizations, city departments, and city employees that have been working 12 hours plus to make this process possible, getting you information, setting up how we're going to get volunteers out safely into the parts of the community where they can be most useful. We do appreciate your patience. We want to do everything as quickly as possible, but some things do take time, as the mayor said. With regards to the declarations, we have to go through the processes to make sure that we do that appropriately, and we are absolutely working to get the declarations that we think that we have enough damage to easily prove that we should get to unlock some additional resources so that we can more thoroughly and effectively and expediently get into this recovery process for those that are most critically in need.
Those are the prepared updates that we have right now. We will open it up to some questions.
I have a couple of questions.
Well, let's start with one and then let others do it, and then we can come back to you.
As much as we're having more weather coming in, there were some people who said they didn't hear sirens. Have you guys had a chance to double check the sirens and make sure they work?
This is an issue that we're taking very seriously. We're conducting internal review, and we'll have some answers on Tuesday. I believe the report is due on that. But it is important to understand what happened there, Elliot, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Especially,
Yeah.
you were saying that you were making plans for the north side. Has the storm made you change or alter any of those plans of what you would do for the north side?
Oh, we are focused right now on getting through this, but yes, absolutely. I mean, the devastation absolutely is changing everyone's lives. I mean, you've seen what's the buildings that have come down, people's homes, people's livelihoods, people have lost their lives. Yes, this recovery is going to take a serious amount of time, capital, and all of us working together.
What type of plans are you going to set in force to change the north side?
Thank you for asking. Right now, we are focused on getting through the storm in the next 24 hours. We're going to be building out a long-term plan in the coming days, weeks ahead. It's forthcoming. Please give us a little patience. We want to be thoughtful. We want to do this with community, and we want to best understand how we get through these next 24 hours. Thank you.
On the topic of those sirens, we're hearing that no one was in the office, the emergency management office during the storms. Wondering.
I wasn't there. Again, this is a very serious matter. It's under review. We should have answers. It's my understanding right now on Tuesday. Thank you.
You said 5,000 buildings were damaged. Is there more of an update on just the?
That's our estimation right now. Right now, like the fire chief said, we've checked them all. They're all getting logged. They're going into a database. We'll have more information soon, but that is the understanding at this time. Right? I don't have that right now. We're working on it. We're still, I think, at least getting through the next of kin. Rachel?
Clarification on the 5,000. Is that buildings total? Do you know how many of them are houses versus other?
We don't know the answer to that right now. Again, as the fire chief said, you have some answers? Okay, fire chief, sorry about that. Thank you.
The 5,000 number is the amount of buildings that was in the path as we determined the touchdown area, which there were several of them, and the progression of the path or the progression of the tornado. We estimated 5,000 buildings within that area, okay? We've checked, we're probably at around 3,800 that we've checked that we think have had a certain amount of damage, and the damage is rated on 5 different levels, which is all in a program that we are finalizing right now, and we're going to provide that to the mayor's office and all the offices that need that information so we can do a grading on exactly what was impacted and where we go from here as far as demolition. So there's a whole lot that's going to come out of the information we provided. But
that's 5,000
that were in the path.
That were in the path. Okay.
Yes.
That's
an estimation, okay? 5,000.
Channel 5.
I was in the Devolver neighborhood. The city forestry was doing some really good job getting all the stuff, but they had a question of, you mentioned the drop-off sites, thinking about the piles of trees and things like that. Is that just in addition, are those drop-off sites included in that? Because they were wondering about having to cost money for them to do that privately. Are they going to be able to take that all?
We are working all that out right now. We've been in communication with our landfills so we can, have a spot to dump these things. We have been putting some dumpsters are out. We have been worried about creating congestion. So the recommendation here is to just make those piles, get through this storm, and we're going to come back and get that path for getting, get the communication and the strategy, the plan for getting that debris out of our communities. But right now we're asking people to just pile it up. We are working on getting more wood chippers in the area right now, specifically to take down some of that debris and get it into more manageable piles.
Have there been any instances?
Let's go Elliot first.
Yeah.
Have there been any instances of looting, and what precautions are being taken to make sure that looters don't take advantage of this tragedy?
Yeah, that's something that anytime you have a tragedy like this, and you've seen it in other places, that was part of our plan originally. Why we go with all boots on the ground, mobilization. We talk to other law enforcement agencies. We make sure that we put everybody out, then go to 12-hour shifts. So not only the plan here, although this was the eye of the storm and the path of the storm, we had electricity out in other areas. So we had a good plan with our commanders, making sure that we're covering all the areas that we thought would be a place where people might take advantage of. But I'm very proud of this community, because during all this time, we don't have any reporting, and if there is, it's very minimal, but I don't have any reporting of it. And I think that's a combination of the plan that's put in place and also the community coming together and not taking advantage of a tragedy of what's happened. So that's why we're going to continue to stay out here, to make sure, when I say keep the peace, that's also to make sure that we're keeping people safe, and at the same time preventing people, and even if a person goes in to try to loot, they might go into a building that might cause a damage that the chief talked about, and we're protecting them from themselves. We're making sure, and then outside, we got a good plan in place. That's why all the officers are doing this amount of time with the type of shifts that we have to try to prevent that.
Is there a message you want to send out to
Channel 4, we're going in order.
Okay.
Channel 4.
When it comes to power outages, is there for the people who are impacted by this, do we know if there'd be like a moratorium on bills for those that are impacted?
Well, I'd have to hand that over. Cameron?
Yes, thanks for the question. So I know that was brought up yesterday from the gentleman from Cleanup. Cool Down St. Louis and Warm Up. And I think that's in conversation right now, so I can't directly answer that question, but it is something that we're considering.
I do have a question for the Red Cross. If you have an estimate.
Absolutely. Red Cross.
Do you have an estimate of how many people have used the shelters?
Yeah, so like as I mentioned, we have Grace United Methodist is full. We're working on getting other shelters. We couldn't get closer into the city like we wanted to, because we didn't have access to power for a lot of the area target locations that we wanted. So right now, I said we're mentioning some. One of the good things is that we do have transportation now to get people to those locations, and so we'll be working on that in a coordinated effort. The max is 100, and so they have had 100, and so actually they're at capacity right now. Overnight, last night, I think that our report was they were at around 75. Some people leave and come and go because they have families, but at the maximum it was 100.
You say it'd be fair to say hundreds of people?
Yeah, it's over 100 people that have been through all locations.
Two more questions.
Could you
starting with
tell
Elliot.
people again the hours of the curfew for those people who don't know?
9 p.m. to 6 a.m. So we're asking people, that's usually during the darkness. We're going to be working through the night. And I think that also helps us out with making sure we can keep this area safe. And at the same time, when you were talking about curfews and you talked about looting, I think the good plan for the whole city, having the officers out, this also helps keeps everyone safe. 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And thank you. We'll let people know when we lift it. But right now, we're doing it for everybody's safety more than anything else. So thank you for that question. No, I'm sorry. I do want to clarify. Great question. This is just for the 5th and 6th district up in this area where we have all the damage. It's not for the whole city. It's for this area. We geographically placed it in the 5th and district police districts, which covers this area.
Channel 4.
Real quick, a lot of those homes are 3-story homes. Some have holes in the roofs, all that. How are people going to get way up there safely to get tarps on for the upcoming storm?
This is a huge concern for us, and we don't have great answers. We know we have folks out in the community. We're providing tarps, and it is just an enormous challenge. It's impossible at this point to really assess the safety of the thousands of buildings that have been damaged. And what we're doing right now is providing tarps for people to protect their belongings within those structures if possible, but recognizing people are going to have to use their own caution and their own best judgment on how to best do that. We simply don't have the manpower to get out there and do it. It's heartbreaking. It's truly heartbreaking.
Let me ask you,
I just want to any area that has been impacted by the storm. Just to reiterate from the mayor, the fire chief, the police chief, if you are going back home to start surveying the damage and what happened, please use extreme caution. Even if the structure is standing, we don't know the stability of that structure. And with more storms coming in, things could adjust even more. So please use extreme caution. The police department, fire department, SEMA, city resources will continue to respond to those emergency calls. And then again, the curfew is in effect from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then also, if you can, please remind folks about using caution at intersections where there's no electricity. Continue to treat that as a four-way stop as Ameren is working diligently to restore power across the entire region. Thank you guys very much. Additional updates will be shared across the city platform, social media accounts, and then if there's any additional briefings scheduled, we'll share that both email, like we've been doing, and then also on social media. Thank you guys for your time.
You can stick around, pictures.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing it. Thank you.
All right, you just heard the news conference. Mayor encouraging basically
It's more just editors. It's more just editors around. Yeah. And what's the general saying from Ameren?
one of the key things, of course, curfew is still in place to 6 a.m. and that curfew is specifically
Well, everybody seems to be
Okay. Thank you.